first, we're going to be talking about Gavin Newsom. Now, there's so many things that I could talk about him right now. His new mandates that he's now implementing for kids in schools. I'm not really surprised. I'm not going to focus on that kind of stuff because I got to be very careful about talking about those kind of things. But this is the story. And someone, in fact, posted this on, I don't remember where I saw it. They said, I hope Adam sees this before they delete it. And I was like, well, what is that? What might they delete? And in fact, it was a video, a news report from ABC. And it's still up. Here it is here. Gavin Newsom's office crafted laws protecting PG&E after company's crimes that killed 84 people. Wow. Now watch the video on this, and it's pretty crazy. And this sums it up here. Documents reveal how California's Governor Gavin Newsom protected PG&E after the company caused deadly fires and pleaded guilty to the felony of killing 84 people. 3 days after Gavin Newsom celebrated his 2018 election victory, one of his major corporate campaign donors caused a mass killing. The Pacific Gas and Electric Company pleaded guilty in June of 2020 to felony involuntary manslaughter for killing 84 Californians in the 2018 campfire. PG&E's officials walked out of court to go back to work on turning a profit, aided by the state politics Newsom crafted to help the company. Quote, just the depth of it is shocking, said Stephen Bradley, a retired California firefighter or dispatcher whose grandmother was killed by PG&E. Even when they are held criminally responsible, nobody actually takes responsibility. So what's to stop them? Bradley's grandmother, Ethel Colleen Riggs, was among PG&E's 84 felony manslaughter victims. In the months after the crime, Newsom not only signed new financial protections for PG&E into law, his office hired private lawyers in New York who wrote the legislative language. Confidential emails and documents obtained by ABC 10 reveal the New York law offices of law firm O'Melveny and Myers drafted AB 1054 in the spring of 2019 before it was introduced in the state legislature. And here is the email right here. The documents were obtained as part of ABC 10's new series, Fire, Power, and Money, How Governor Gavin Newsom Protected PG&E, which investigated how California gave financial protections to PG&E by the state government in the wake of crimes. AB 1054 resulted in PG&E obtaining official state safety certificates for 2 fire seasons since the campfire. The law was written by the lawyers under a contract to represent Newsom's offices in PG&E's bankruptcy, state records show. After AB 1054 was already signed into law, drafting of legislation was added to an amended version of O'Melveny's contract. Payment records obtained through the state transparency laws showed O'Melveny billed California taxpayers $3 million during the time when the law took shape. Investment bank Guggenheim also participated in drafting AB 1054 and charged $3.7 million during that time. According to concerns about lack of independence of PG&E's state regulators, the email revealed that California Public Utilities Commission, or the CPUC, was assigned to write sections of AB 1054 by Newsom's hired attorneys. The CPUC also, which prosecutors say harmed campfire criminal investigations, did not respond to a list of written questions for this report. The agency is refusing to hand over its communications with key Newsom staffers around the time it waived a $200 million fine to help PG&E exit bankruptcy, prompting ABC 10 to file suit under state transparency laws. I just want to add, all right, they didn't add this in here. Those 84 people that were killed, that energy company, you know how much they had to pay as a fine? $10,000 per person. That's it. That was their fine. $10,000 per person. That's it. That was their punishment. Not even $1 million is chump change to these people. Chump change. They don't care. That was just numbers. Oh, well. It gets worse. We'll get into it. Quote, if the suggestion is somehow I'm influenced by that, you're wrong. Absolutely, unequivocally wrong, Newsom said in a 2019 news conference when ABC 10 asked whether he could be a neutral broker of PG&E's bankruptcy. And he continues, and that's not one thing you can point to during my tenure as governor that would suggest otherwise. Do you trust this man? Do you trust Gavin Newsom at all? No, I don't. I certainly don't. Granted, I don't live in California, but every single person I know that lives in California can't stand the man. It's insane. Quote, I just think that that's naive, Alice Stebbins said, who served as the CPUC's executive director at the time. Of course it has an influence. Yeah, of course. Newsom's staff declined or ignored at least 10 interview requests on the PG&E crisis from ABC 10, dating back nearly 3 years to his time as governor-elect. Staffers of Newsom pointed us to others for comment, including a lobbying group called Up From the Ashes, which was founded by attorneys for wildfire victims. The intent of AB 1054 was to keep utilities solvent if there was a fire, wrote Steve Campora, a fire victims attorney who is listed as CEO of Up From the Ashes on the group's governance filings. Campora wrote ABC 10 to express concern about PG&E's stock price falling due to the company's suspected involvement in sparking the massive Dixie Fire, which has become the state's single largest wildfire at nearly 500,000 acres and continues to grow. All right, I just need to take a second. How many times have you heard Gavin Newsom talking about climate change, talking about all these wildfires, when we have proof that these energy companies are actually causing them? Now, they haven't even gotten into the point that these energy companies, the reason these fires were started is because they had faulty hooks holding wires up that they knew were going to fail. They knew they were going to fail, and it was cheaper for them to kill 84 people and let them break than replace them. So they just let it happen. So this company is now protected by Gavin Newsom and getting grants or a safety certificate, which is worth a lot of money to be able to have 2 years of a safety certificate, when in reality, it was a lie. It wasn't safe. These hooks, or these, I don't know, whatever they're like, they hold the wires in place. Those were faulty. So the wires would fall and start wildfires. Well, a wildfire, if we're going to be honest, is something that happens naturally, right? California's always had wildfires. But when they're caused by irresponsible corporations with government backing, that's not a wildfire anymore. That's just a fire. I mean, that's akin to arson. They knew it was going to happen, and Gavin Newsom protected them. He hired bigwig lawyers to do that, to help them out. This is crazy, and I can't believe that I almost missed this story. No one's talking about this. I hadn't seen this. This has been around for a couple years. Gavin Newsom is horrendous. I can't believe this man is still governor. He needs to go ASAP. Corruption? I mean, hello? Is anything going to ever come of this? Probably not. Have you heard of that? Have you heard this before? I certainly didn't. Here's a quote from Campora. People need to understand that as a result of AB 1054, PG&E's financial picture will not be damaged by the Dixie Fire. That's right, they are protected. The stock price hurts the prior victims because it lessens the money in the trust, but there is no real financial danger for PG&E. Newsom's office sent a written statement which did not directly answer any of the 18 specific questions ABC 10 submitted by email. No governor in California history has done more to hold PG&E accountable and force the company to make fundamental change, said the statement emailed by Newsom's spokesperson, Amelia Matier, which appears in its entirety at the bottom of this article. Nobody has done more. Sounds like gaslighting to me. I don't trust anything coming out of these people's mouths. You're his spokesperson. Of course you're not going to be like, yeah, he messed up, and yeah, they should be held accountable, but he's not going to because he's actually dirty and they all collude behind closed doors. This is akin to truth or proof right here. ABC. Good stuff, ABC. Kind of not really surprised, or I'm sorry, I am actually rather surprised to see that ABC came out with this story. Seems like they had been coming after him for quite some time. So good for you, ABC. Thank you for doing that work. Now, this article goes on and on and on into the details of the report. And if you would like to read the rest of the article, it has a lot of different information about all of this. You can go to my locals page, adamkrigler.locals.com. Really easy to find me. I've already posted it up right now. So everything I'm going to be talking about, anything I reference, you can actually go there and check it out. And thanks. And then I just, it makes me think of this Babylon Bee article, which just makes me laugh every time. Gavin Newsom named U-Haul Salesman of the Year. Salesperson, whatever, salesman. That's how we used to do it. Anyway, I thought this was hilarious because, I wouldn't want to live in California. I have lived in California in the past. I would never go back. No way. And to my friends in California, I wish you well. I have a few friends that still live there, and they love it. They're thinking about leaving. Actually, they're thinking about bouncing out of there. I don't know. We'll see.